What's up, it's Guru Jojo, and in this video I'm going to speak about why it's important to be a part of a religious or spiritual community, why it's important to have some sort of faith, some sort of system of faith. So it is very important to have a religious or spiritual belief system, simply because if you don't, what happens is all your confidence, all your faith, all of your optimism, all of your hope becomes dependent upon physical and tangible means. It becomes dependent upon anything that has to do with possessions, money, and superficial things. And when this happens, then you can never really be content with yourself and your life as a whole, because things always come and go. Things are manifested and you attract these things, but then we lose these things or they become destructed, and that's for us to move on. It's very important to have a faith and a belief system, because this is what installs true meaning and true confidence within the self, what you believe in. So when somebody's like atheist or agnostic or whatever, if they don't have a belief system at all and they think all of that's bullshit, what happens is, what they don't know, atheists and agnostic people, is that you're now placing all of your confidence, all of your meaning, all of your reasoning behind your whole life on people, places, and things, which causes you to always lead to disappointment. You will always be disappointed in your life if your faith is only set upon people, places, and things. And people, places, and things will always disappoint you. That's why it's important to be enlightened into the spaces of having faith, optimism, and confidence in things that are higher than yourself, aka things that are coming out of density. So in things that hold true meaning and value, which are the things that you cannot see, that you cannot necessarily touch. Instead, we can only implement these beliefs and these concepts in the things that we have, all your higher values. And higher values simply mean that it's being manifested and created from a higher purpose. There's a higher meaning to it. There's a higher belief to it. Unlike just wearing something or doing something because it gives some type of superficial statement. So it's very important to have, again, I can't stress it enough, to have a religious and a belief system. A lot of people are still in this mind frame that that religion and spirituality is bullshit. It's like, no, you don't understand what this does for a person. When somebody goes through a situation where they no longer have control over their possessions and their resources, then where do you turn to? Okay, if you don't have a belief system, you're going to turn to all the wrong habits, all the bad habits. As human beings, we're not perfect. We are going to sin, and we are going to do certain, we're going to act in certain behaviors which we would rather have not, but at least we can balance that out with like faith and having some sort of connection to a higher source, a higher power, rather than completely depending upon the dark, not the dark, but lower means, aka, oh, if I can't control my significant other, and if I can't control the amount of money that's in my bank account, then screw it. I'm going to just steal from people to get what I want. You see what not having a belief system does? It causes you to only focus on physical means. So now you're going to do anything to receive those physical means anyway, so that you can still feel good about yourself. Whereas people that have spirituality, people that have true belief and true connection to a higher source, they're going to pray, they're going to hope, and they're going to look for higher meaning as to why they're going through, as to why they may be going through a bad situation. So that's the first thing I want to go over. The second thing I want to go over is why it's important to actually feel like you connect to your religious or your belief system. So, me personally, okay, the religious system that I grew up in, it had a lot of rules and a lot of constructs that I don't fit in, that I would break. So by default, if I was to stay within that type of belief system, it would restrict me from my confidence. It would restrict me from my hope, my optimism, because I would constantly be feeling guilty, even if I'm not like consciously thinking about it. It's subconscious in the back of my mind. There's a guilt. There's a feeling of like God's not going to hear my prayers because here's the thing with a lot of Christian and Catholic faiths, and I'm not trying to diss these faiths, I'm literally explaining why, and helping other people to maybe like you, because people really don't get it. Like if you're a person who looks in the dark, and looking in the dark simply means if you're a science type of person, if you're interested in coming out of ignorance, no offense, but like certain religions, they are very surface wise, like this is what I told you and this is what you're supposed to follow, don't ask no questions. But as soon as you start to become curious about something and you start to wonder what's the deeper meaning and reasoning behind something, I hope you're not Christian, I hope you're not Catholic, I hope you're not Baptist, because that's now you're going inside of the details. So you're going down inside of information to understand it. So it's like by default, I couldn't really stay in a belief system that told me that I'm wrong for being a curious person. That's going to tell me I'm wrong for how I was born, for my own brain. So that's why I couldn't follow that construct anymore. Although I still connect with it, and though I still read the Bible, and I think that it's like has a lot of good lessons and a lot of key concepts, the reason why I don't follow that faith in particular anymore is because there's too many rules, and I'ma break them. So it's like, and I'm not gonna sit here and feel bad about myself because I want to know the meaning and reasoning behind everything. You're not going to just tell me something and then I'm going to believe it. So then that's where spirituality comes in, and where you can have alternative perspectives and understanding things in an alternative way, and just understanding the meaning behind things on a deeper level, where it comes from. Because the story's always changing. It's always evolving. It may not be the same thing as it was a couple decades ago. Like shit changes all the time. So I'm like, I'm gonna go with the flow and just go with what I feel is fitting towards me. And there's so many outlooks in life, but there's one key concept of believing in the unseen forces, and that's what I think is important, rather than the division of the systems. But yeah, so in this second portion, which I was speaking on why it's important to actually feel like you belong, the main key takeaway is to just make sure that you're not limiting your true power of confidence and optimism in yourself. Make sure you're not holding back your true self because of some system that you felt that you had to comply to, when there's plenty of other systems that have the same true meaning connected to it. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you for watching. Deuce, deuce, peace, peace, love and light, shining bright like a star in the sky.